Good morning, everyone. It's Julia Yarbough with Keeping It Real Caregiving. Hey, I know it has been a little bit since I have been online to see all of you. So I'm going to add myself to the screen right now, if I can remember how to do that. It's been a little while. So as I get this set up, and I'm going to remove this screen. And then there I am. Good morning, everybody. So I'm not sure who may be joining. This is totally a last minute, what I call a pop up coffee chat event. So I hope that anybody out there in online Facebook land can join me, or maybe you'll see this stream and you'll just decide to hop on. So, with that, first of all, happy Memorial Day weekend. I hope everybody has a safe holiday weekend and a huge, of course, thank you to all of our service men and women here at home and around the country. And remembering those who have served our country as we honor Memorial Day 2024. So, again, this is a pop up event for Keeping It Real Caregiving. I'm your host, Julia Yarbough. And I would like to just start with a little bit of background for those of you who may be finding this information for the very first time. Keeping It Real Caregiving is my brainchild with the goal of helping caregivers have practical, real life information, hence the name Keeping It Real. Quite often, there are items that come up as caregivers, family caregivers, that I like to say you don't know until you don't know what you don't know. And by the time you're in it, quite often you're now slightly overwhelmed, a little bit stressed, scrambling, trying to figure out what all do I need to do and how do I get this handled. So I was a family caregiver for more than 20 years. The first, I would say 14 to 15, I didn't even really realize that I was a family caregiver. That meant I was caring for my mom, Miss Nellie, um, helping her with shopping, getting to doctor's appointments, transportation, entertainment, making sure that she was generally okay. Uh, that was in the early 2000s. Even at that point, I was a family caregiver, didn't quite realize it. In 2016, I moved here to Northern California, where I'm based at now, and I began caring for my mom, Miss Nellie. And that last 5 years was what I call the heavy duty lifting of really understanding that I needed to understand medications, healthcare, insurance, what questions to ask doctors, how to handle my own physical aspects while handling my mother's. And I'm going to take a quick moment. Good morning, Elaine. It's so nice to see you on here. Greetings to everybody in South Florida if you're out there. And Elaine, I love that you're part of the Keeping It Real Caregiving family, and I'm sending good vibes to you for you and your health as well, um, and that of your husband. I hope things are going well. So I'm bringing everybody up to speed on the background of Keeping It Real Caregiving, just in case you haven't been following along. So to wrap it up in a shorter nugget, the last 5 years of my mother's life, I was the primary caregiver for her. My mother passed in 2020 at the age of 90. So those last 5 years of her life are what I call the heavy duty lifting. Literally, that meant understanding what the activities of daily living meant, helping her with food, preparing food, in some cases, helping her to eat that food, toileting, helping to make sure that her grooming was well and safe, helping her in and out of bed, in and out of chairs, making sure that she was physically okay, um, getting her to and from doctor's appointments, being that advocate for the doctors, knowing which questions to ask. All of this to say that as I went through that, I created Keeping It Real Caregiving, a blog and website platform to share stories as I went along, to offer support perhaps for those who may feel overwhelmed in the thick of caregiving. All of that information, as I continued building that out, can be found at keepingitrealcaregiving.com. Same name, the website, and it truly is a labor of love. For those of you just joining, again, my name is Julia Yarbough, and my background is as a news anchor and reporter. I'm a storyteller. So, in essence, I thought, well, I'm going through this journey of being a family caregiver, meaning I am one of an estimated 53 million Americans in our country who are unpaid family caregivers. I thought I was prepared. There were so many obstacles and challenges and items that I learned going through the process of caring for my mother that I wanted to share that with others, all of you, to make sure that if I had learned something, I could share that information. Something as simple as really taking the time to understand any medications that a doctor may have prescribed. Why is this important? Well, if you have doctors who know their craft and they're knowledgeable and they're experienced in their craft, their specialty, and they prescribe a medication, but there's a medication in another specialty that another doctor has prescribed. Do those medications interfere with one another? And could that create a situation of health safety for your loved one? Little things like that. Um, all of us, I believe, like to know that we're in good hands with our medical teams. And for the most part, it's a learning process, and I like to hope that our care teams are there for us. Sometimes, though, what I learned, not sometimes, all the time, we have to be advocates for those that we are caring for. And the good thing about learning to be an advocate for those that you're caring for is that all of us can then look down the line to our own aging process and what our futures look like. And we can ask ourselves, am I taking the correct steps so that I know how to be an advocate for myself when that time comes? Hence, keeping it real caregiving. That's why I started the platform. And I am thrilled that I've been able to share many, many stories, articles, interviews with other subject matter experts to help people navigate through this. I would like to thank all of you who have been following the newsletter since I launched this effort. For those of you just new to Keeping It Real Caregiving, I will tell you I am always open to hearing from those of you who are family caregivers. Why? Each of us have a different experience. The information that I tend to share comes from my experience with my mother, of that I faced, the nuances that I had to navigate through. But each of us have something different. And I truly believe that when we share that information with one another and support one another, even if it's here virtually, we are able to educate ourselves. Uh, the good news in all of this is since I started this effort of Keeping It Real Caregiving, which is the website, keepingitrealcaregiving.com, and also keepingitrealcaregiving.substack.com, which you can see that in the lower third here. The newsletter is information that I find online to share and curate some of that information. Always have a There we are. Yay, internet. We're back. Um, what I wanted to do this morning, not a long, deep, involved session, but I did want to bring you up to speed if you're just joining, let you know where you can find some of this information. Over the years since I started this program, we have talked with gerontologists. We have talked with palliative care experts. We have talked with other caregivers who have personal real life stories and information. We have talked with male and female caregivers. We have talked with financial experts and financial planning experts to look at the issues of, are we making sure that we're planning ahead for our own care as we age? I'm proud to say that Keeping It Real Caregiving has been involved with the American Society on Aging. Um, Keeping It Real Caregiving also serves as a volunteer for AARP, and some of that work will be evolving in the next couple of weeks, and I'll share that with you a little bit more. And also involved with the California Master Plan for Aging, which, if you're joining here in California, then you may or may not know that we have the Master Plan for Aging. If you're joining elsewhere, I encourage you to hop online, look that up, and then compare what our state is doing with some of the legislation and efforts and awareness in your own state, and start to become that advocate. So this morning, what I wanted to share with you is some exciting news, and it's California centric, but good reminders for everybody across the entire country. Since I started Keeping It Real Caregiving, my goal has been to share information, connect people, and really look for ways to help people understand that we are all aging. All of us will be there at some point. And caregiving isn't something that happens to other people. Caregiving is something that is evolving, and it's happening with all of us. I am so proud to announce that Keeping It Real Caregiving and me sitting down and talking with others within the field of aging have created a nonprofit arm to Keeping It Real Caregiving. And I thought long and hard about, how can I take all of this information that I have from my personal experiences, all of the information that all of you out there have shared from your experiences, and then put that in a way that we can cross-pollinate to different agencies and organizations that are working within their communities. I truly believe that helping each other across disciplines is one way to approach care. And I am happy to announce, I'm going to share my screen here now with you, the creation of Caring Across Communities Incorporated. Again, Caring Across Communities. The reason I chose that name, and I really thought about it, was care isn't only just family caregiving. Care means caring for friends, caring for family. Care means caring for yourselves, perhaps in a financial aspect. Care could mean working with other agencies that provide food for individuals in your community. Care also includes taking care of our environment, our air, our water, our natural resources, plants and animals. Care includes knowing what's happening in your respective communities so that we can all reach out and help one another. So, caring across communities is the evolution of Keeping It Real Caregiving to say, look, there are so many options, organizations, efforts, and initiatives that are out there. Are there ways that we can all work together to share this information that could be valuable to us? And I'm going to share with you two things. Actually, I've been dabbling with creating a logo for Caring Across Communities. I am not a graphic artist, so I'm playing around with this, but I want to share with you what I came up with so far, and I would love to hear from some of you. This is a shameless call to action from anybody out there. If you just have it in your heart and you say, I'm a graphic artist, I'm really good at creating things like this, I'd love to hear from you. Maybe we could collaborate together. Maybe you could contribute some of your talents or just have ideas. This is a rough start to a a logo design that I came up with. It's rough. I guarantee you, I promise it's a work in progress. But I did want to share it to get some thoughts and feedback from any of you. If you're on the chat now or on this call, go ahead and drop it into the chat. What do you think? Um, if you're watching this later, drop your comments into the chat. I'd love to see and hear what you think. But again, the idea of caring across communities, I'm trying to visualize this concept that we're all in this together. It's about family caregiving. It's about the environment. It's about our communities, our homes, our families, our friends, our neighbors. Um, so I'm still dabbling with this, but Caring Across Communities Incorporated is our new nonprofit arm to Keeping It Real Caregiving. Now, the reason that I chose to move in this direction is that I truly want to be able to connect in with other agencies, to learn what they're doing. And then you've heard me say this, connect the dots between the work that caregivers are doing and the work that other agencies are doing. Right. Joyce, I see you popped onto the call. I love that you are here, my dear friend from, I won't even say what years, but it is wonderful to see you here on this call. And thank you for your kind words. Feels like, on one hand, it feels like just yesterday that we spent time together, but I know it wasn't. But I am always thankful because I loved, loved, loved the home that I was in at that point, and that is because of you and your work and your vision to help that come to fruition. So thank you. I digress. So yes, caring across communities. There you go. That's some of the care that takes place. Now, I'm going to pop this off the screen because the other aspect to this, as Caring Across Communities has just launched, and I am super excited to say that our very first project is to have been accepted as a partner with a program here in California. And I'll be working specifically within the Northern California region on this project. Butte County, Glenn County, and Tehama County. Just a little bit in Glenn and Tehama, primarily in Butte, where I'm at. But I'm going to pop this onto the stage. That's what they call it here. So there you have it. You can see it here in this graphic. Caring Across Communities, our very first project is as a partner with the Power Saver Rewards program as a community-based organization partner. Yay! This is what it's all about, of caring across communities, of having a vision, hearing from all of you and saying, okay, what are some of the areas that as family caregivers, any information could be helpful? Any little bit that you can do at home or share that information with others, right? And so you may be saying, well, Julia, what is Power Saver Rewards? What is that? Well, I'm going to tell you that right now. So I'm going to remove this item from the stage, and then I'm going to put up this other graphic. All right, Power Saver Rewards. This is a program, as it says right here on this flyer, from the North Coast to San Diego, all up and down California. And we're a big state, right? In my Northern California region, in my county, Butte County, primarily our power company is PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric. Power Saver Rewards is a program that allows you to reduce your energy use when a flex alert is in effect, right? And so you're saying, well, what's a flex alert? And what does all this have to do with caregiving? And I don't get it. Well, I'm going to walk you through it a little bit, give you a little bit of information about this program. And again, super excited that Keeping It Real Caregiving via Caring Across Communities is able to partner for this program. The way this works is when we have large power events and everybody's cranking their ACs or turning on their appliances, right? That can strain our electrical grid. So a flex alert is when the power companies say, hey, if you can reduce your energy usage during these times, that can help all of us. Helps you, helps your neighbors, helps folks down the road. So how is this important to caregivers? think about it. If you are caring for someone, let's say they use some sort of electrical device for their health, or an oxygen machine, or you absolutely positively need AC in your home, or what have you. If we happen to have a power outage and you have no power, that could create an issue for you as a caregiver, right? If you've been in that situation, you know, right? So this is something that we should think about. With Power Saver rewards, it's super easy. You can log on to your power company website and sign up for Power Saver rewards. So with PG&E, the power company in our Butte County area, so I'm drilling down a little deeper into California right now. Free service, absolutely free. You don't have to give anything, do anything. All you do is sign up. But here's the caveat. When a flex alert is issued, again, it may be, hey, temperatures are high, we expect high power usage. When there's a flex alert and you have signed up and then you choose to actively reduce your power usage, your electrical usage, the company will then act as an incentive program, right? And so when a flex alert is issued, you can voluntarily conserve energy, power down those electronics, unplug things, decide that you're just not going to use it. And those flex alerts will be issued, and I'm going to be working with those of you here in Northern California on that. I'll have more information on that coming up this week. But then when you use less energy, you can then receive credits on your electrical bill. So really, it's a win-win. You don't have to do anything. You simply sign up. It's free. And then you reduce your electrical usage during those flex alerts. And then you receive a credit on your bill for how much kilowatt usage you have, right? So it's a win-win. Now, again, I'm looping this back around to caregiving. I know in my household, there were times when if it was really, really hot outside, I needed to make sure that mom was kept cool here in the house. If it was really, really, really cold outside, and this wouldn't come into play for this, but, I had to make sure that mom was warm enough. And so my electrical usage completely changed depending on what the needs were in the household. Um, any little bit of savings and steps that you can take to make your world a little easier, as a caregiver, that comes in handy. Um, so just a couple of things to think about. And this is whether you're a caregiver or somebody else, especially here in Northern California, really in any state. But think about it. If there are steps you can take before you run into a situation. And so I want to share with you some of the steps that you can take before there's a flex alert issued so that you can be prepared. And these are good practices to get into the habit of all the time, right? Think about pre-cooling your home earlier in the day, right? So you can pre-cool your home by running your AC during the day before we have this flex alert. And then as we head into the higher parts of the day, which are typically right around between 4 and 9, uh, get your thermostat to 78. Now your house is already cool. You can maintain that, and then you're not using as much energy. For those of you here in Northern California, or if you have a home with one of those whole house cooling fans, my goodness, please use it. My house has one of those. I didn't actually know what it was until the first 3 months or so of living in my home. Thank goodness one of my neighbors told me what it was. Works like a charm. I was using it this morning. Um, Pop open the doors and windows early, turn on the whole house fan. It pulls in that nice cool air, sucks it in, keeps your house cool for a big chunk of the day. Don't have to turn on the AC later. Um, Tip number 2, Make sure that we all have chores and household things we have to do, laundry, drying, dishwashing, all of that. Do those items early in the morning. Um, do those chores before that mid part of the day, typically 4 to 9, right? Um, if you've had the fan on or you've done your chores earlier, you know what? We've looked out, we've seen our beautiful yards, we've seen birds and trees and outdoors. Shutter stuff up. Go ahead, pull those blinds, pull those drapes, keep the home cool. And of course, that makes sense anyhow. And again, if you've got a loved one in the home, you really want to think about making them comfortable as well. Um, so those are just a couple of the little items that I wanted to share with you about Flex Alert. I'm going to pop this down and then I want to share with you um, this other screen. If you're watching now and you're thinking, wait a minute, Power Saver Rewards, I do want to check this out. And I encourage you to do so. You can scan this code. You can also go to powersaverrewards.org. I'm going to put that into the chat. Pretty easy. powersaverrewards.org. Boom. Uh, that way it'll be in this stream. But you can scan this QR code. That will take you to the program. And again, free to sign up, easy to sign up. I encourage you to check it out. I'm sure you have other questions about how this works. And if you're not in California, check with your power company too. See if there's something similar in your state. Each region has different unique power needs. But this is a good reminder of, okay, we can connect the dots between different issues, right? And again, as caregivers, we constantly have to be thinking, what are some of the ways that we can trim and save? If there are things you can do that help your household, help your power bill, help you earn credits on something that you're using anyhow, and then also helping your neighbors. It truly is a sense of caring, caring across communities, right? I don't want power in my area to go out. I don't want power in another county to go out. I want people to be okay. I want caregivers to be okay, which means we all need to work together. So that is I called it my pop up coffee chat, completely last minute. I know it's a holiday weekend and a lot of you have plans, but I wanted to just jump on. It's been a bit and let you know what's been happening. To summarize again, Keeping It Real Caregiving. I know I'm a little behind on updates on the newsletter. I don't think I mentioned this for those of you who are new to this. I do work full time as a communications consultant. So I have a very demanding job and I travel a lot. This is also my passion job. So I'm getting things in place, continuing to build out in a lane. Yes, FP&L, Florida Power and Light, similar program. If you have friends who aren't signed up, check it out. I'm actually absolutely thrilled that this new Caring Across Communities is now part of Power Saver Rewards here in California. For Butte County, Glenn County, Tehama County, our primary service is PG&E. Check it out. Sign up. Super easy. I put the web address into the chat. I highly encourage you to check this out. Takes maybe 5 minutes. And it's really a way that you can help yourself and help neighbors. So in the spirit of staying on time, it is exactly 9 o'clock. My time counter says it's 29:24. So we literally have 30 seconds left to hit exactly 30 minutes. For those of you who are on the call, any questions before we wrap up this morning? Happy to answer, happy to give shout outs to those of you who have joined. And as we head into the tail end of our Memorial Day holiday weekend, Again, everybody, please be safe. Take good care of yourself. Take good care of those in your circle, your friends, family, loved ones, neighbors. Remember, it's care and it's caring across communities. All right, everyone, that is it for us here, all of us here on this call, and me, Julia Yarbough, your host and creator of Keeping It Real Caregiving. Shoot me a note here on Facebook, and we'll connect again soon. All right, be safe, everybody. Bye.